Chris, you've spent half an hour with each of the 5 apprentices this morning. Obviously, you got a chance to really grill them and kind of get to grips with them and ask them about how the challenges have been during this whole process. Perhaps we can go through them one by one, and we can talk about some of the kind of strengths and weaknesses of them. So the obvious place to start, alphabetically, is Ashley.
Alphabetically, Ashley, yes. One thing I would say, they've all grown immeasurably in the time I've seen them. The nervous, stuttering, worried look that besieged them all when they walked in has by and large gone. We've grown some very capable, confident young people here, so this has been a good experience. Ashley has impressed me because he's probably grown the most through this period. He's bright, he looks engaging, he's done well at all the tasks.
I think he's very personable. I think if he was my insurance broker, he's somebody I think I could quite easily pick up the phone and have a chat with.
So I've got a mate who works down the road, mechanic these days, and he says it's all about going online. The aggregators, that opera singer and the meerkat, get cheaper deals.
Well, I don't think really for your size of business, and also the whole idea of having a broker, and I think you'll agree, and we've already discussed it, to take some hassle and aggravation out of your day-to-day. The last thing you want to be doing is dealing with the insurances, and that's what we as a broker sort of pay to do on your behalf.
Thanks for the time, Ashley.
Thanks very much.
Cheers now.
Cheers.
It is a people business. I mean, I would absolutely endorse the fact of everyone he's grown. He came from very nervous, but he seems much more confident. He's obviously got an awful lot out of this. On the flip side, I'm still not convinced that the scheme thing was ideal. But
I think he's passionate about that green idea, isn't he? And I think perhaps let his passion for the kind of green idea get ahead of him on that one.
So as a business person, I think the next step is to, talking about the profits and the money.
Yeah, you've got to separate your passion from business.
That means I'm sure he'd say it himself, he's got a lot to learn, but he's got a lot to give as well.
He does strike me as someone that would benefit from some broader experience.
Yeah.
Okay, perhaps we can move on then to Holly next. Again, somebody who I think, like you're saying, has grown.
I still find with her that when you ask her the right question about insurance, the absolute passion just bubbles and erupts out of her, and you'd like to see that more consistently because it's in there, and her delivery of it is fantastic when it happens, and the rest of it is not through any lack of ability, maybe a touch lack of confidence, but I mean the raw materials are undoubtedly in there.
I think she's someone who needs to get warmed up sometimes. I think just give her 5 or 10 minutes and she really starts to flow. She bounds with enthusiasm.
And I searched, various different insurers, including Allianz, and it wasn't sort of compatible with the standard package policies because it's almost a quasi motor trader really, with the mechanical side of things. So I think that's what inspired me to look at it, and also obviously with the increasing ageing population, I think the demand is going to be, in 10, 20, 30 years time, there's going to be a huge market.
I imagine in the office she is essentially the centre of that.
What a star within an office. The enthusiasm, it's infectious. I thought a scheme idea was very good. It's got something that's got some real longevity in there, a good idea that's not serviced by the marketplace.
Interesting, talks about insurance with that bubbly enthusiasm. Not so much about her own sort of personal questions where she sees her career, what she wants to achieve. Wants to be a role model, yet to fully define what that success looks like, I think, to her. But, definitely got the raw material. But done well to appear on this and step outside her comfort zone and take on the challenge.
You've done very well. Got the time for Ollie.
I suppose so. Next is Jonathan. I think Jonathan's a bit different because he went to university, didn't he? And he kind of left university with a degree, but then decided on a career in insurance broking.
I like Jonathan. A good all-rounder. I think he's got the capability to be a director in a broking company. I think, and maybe his own business. He's got some very good, strong moral outlook, and I think he'd be a very ethical business person. So I was impressed with Jonathan.
I'd like to see the insurance broking industry becoming more of a self-regulated industry. I think we should be more concerned with improving our own industry than being concerned with appeasing regulators. I think this has been improved in terms of improving professionalism within the industry and also such incentives as the Aldermanbury Declaration. The regulator is there at the moment to maintain market confidence, maintain financial stability, protect customers and also reduce financial crime. And there should be no one better placed than insurance brokers to deal with this in our own industry.
Yeah, I'd say it's hard to sort of spot a weakness, which is an ultimate strength. That he's very, very consistent. Again, another one who's personable, another one you can see having the people skills to be a success. Again, another one who perhaps needs to have a route map towards what success looks like. But he's young, and that's the whole point of being on this, is to pick up that kind of advice from Chris. Slightly disappointed that he got a bit thrown in the SME bit, business continuity and what have you. But
I think he came back well in the interview with Chris. He obviously knew he'd kind of slipped up there, and he didn't mention it in the interview. So he did reflect on it, and that's a positive.
Because he expressed his ambition, he needs to write that down, what that means for him, and put some targets in there, because I think if he does channel his energies and his enthusiasm towards a target, he could go a long way.
Yeah, so perhaps we move on now to Katie. Again, somebody who shows a lot of ambition, particularly on the professionalism side.
Yes, I mean, I forget, I think she said 23 when she became chartered. That's absolutely stunning. Clearly driven, clearly has an aptitude, clearly a sponge for learning, lots of positives. Another one, unfortunately, nerves, particularly at the start, got better of her, or at least made her hide her light under a bushel for a while. But, she has grown through the process, and I'm sure she'll go back to MRIB a changed person, a more confident person, and someone who's going to take an awful lot of benefit out of this. Lots of good qualities there. Chris, how have you found it?
Well, I thought Katie was quite deceptive. You thought initially this might be someone that's relatively mild and non-assertive. When you get her in and talking, actually she's very strong. She's got a very clear mindset. She knows exactly what needs to be done. How ruthless are you? How competitive?
I think I'm very competitive. Maybe I don't show it, but I think I am in my head very, very
Are you too nice?
I think, from people seeing me growing up, they say nowadays I'm a lot more feistier than I used to be. Yeah. If someone is putting in their place, I will put them in their place. And they'd probably look at me and think, oh, she couldn't put me, but I would. Yeah. If I had to, I would. And I think people have got to respect you for you to be able to do that quite successfully. She
did very well in the SME interview. I thought you grasped hold of the subject matter, made the customer feel relatively relaxed. So I thought she was good. I think her advert was a bit weak. But I think underneath that very nice, pleasant exterior is quite some steel and she's a bright girl. Not just for the exams, but we need to find a way, or MRIB needs to find a way of channeling that into her own management and career development.
Yeah, to say her scheme again was she did pick up something quite interesting and novel with the whole kind of British vineyards. Again, I think that was to be commended as she came out the kind of challenge from a different direction than some of the other people.
I think that clearly there's a lot of clever thinking going on there. If I had one piece of advice for her, I think it would be great if you were as impressed by her at the end of the first meeting as you are at the end of the second meeting. So just sell herself a bit stronger.
Which brings us on to our final apprentice, which is Oliver.
Oliver's a class act, and he was very confident, very confident. I suspect as he holds a relatively senior position in his own business, he's had more experience and more exposure on a broader area.
And it's a family firm, so he's probably had the opportunities,
Yeah, but he did well at virtually every task. He made it, enthusiastic, keen, interesting, and knew his stuff.
So I think even when you were trying to fault him, I suppose, with the scheme when he was going into a crowded marketplace, his presentation was still solid. I know that you probably thought that perhaps that was a market where there were already enough providers in there. But
well, if I have a concern, it was that the enthusiasm and the desire to sell may override where there's good business practice, and just step back a little bit and say, actually, let me think about this a bit more, because at the end of the day, you don't want to chalk up a failure on your schemes. So I thought sometimes that enthusiasm may run away with him. But again, what a team guy. Have him in your office, and the office would be buzzing, it'd be enthusiastic, it'd be looking for business, a real credit to his business.
So. And I'd also say the sort of, they were all nervous. I'd argue he's probably the least nervous, but even the things he found hard, say the regulation piece to camera, it's his ability to nail it first time, which I thought was very strong.
And he bounced back from challenges very strongly. If you put a challenge down, he took it on board, good point, but came back.
I wanted to give them kind of an idea about what the industry does and how insurance works, and I think that at the top where I've put you don't need a degree to have a lucrative career in insurance broking, I kind of wanted them to sort of know what insurance was and how the insurance industry sort of works, and then, you know, go into sort of more detail about it. But this was just to get them sort of maybe a bit more excited about the insurance industry and to make them think a bit more about insurance, because it's not the most exciting of industries, or it's not perceived to be the most exciting of industries.
That advert could almost drop into a magazine today.
Okay.
That was good, really good work, really good work.
Well, I don't envy you, Chris. We've beaten around the bush. We've talked through all five of them getting on the shortlist. Fantastic opportunity, fantastic achievement. All five of them have grown, have developed. All five of them, I think, would be a worthy apprentice, but you are in the position of having to choose one.
I agree, and I would not be embarrassed or sorry for any of them to win. You know, any of those candidates, I'd say, done, okay, I'll take you. What I'm going to think about now is who will benefit most from the experience of working with me, and whose career I can probably benefit most by taking them out and showing them a different experience. And that's going to take some thought.
Okay, we'll give you a few moments, and then once you're
I'm
ready,
going to go and lie down now and think about it.
we'll get them back in at a time that you're ready.
Okay.
Brilliant. Well, welcome back, winners. I call you all winners for the last time. You've done all your tasks, and then I spent a good conversation with all of you trying to find out what makes you tick. And I and my fellow judges are of no doubt that you can all be our Broker Apprentice. But it would be unreal to award it collectively, so I have to make some choices. And you know, I found this extraordinarily difficult, and until probably 30 seconds ago, I was undecided, particularly amongst two of you, I think have particularly attracted me as good performers across the piece. But this is an issue I grapple with because I think all of you are going to have good careers. If you put your mind to it and do the things we talked about, you will develop great careers. But I can probably give a boost in one or two areas that you wouldn't otherwise naturally get. And for that reason, I'm actually going to make Broker Apprentice of the Year to Ashley.
Ashley, many congratulations on winning the Broker Apprentice competition.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
I'm actually stunned. I didn't think for a minute that I was going to win it, but yeah, I'm really, really pleased. It was a great experience.
How have you found the competition, the process as a whole?
Yeah, amazing. I think it was a big sort of learning curve for me. I think it's really pushed my comfort zone, but no, it's great, really, really good.
You mentioned it was a good learning process for you. Do you feel as if there's anything in particular you've taken out of the process, anything in particular that you have learned?
I think thinking on your feet has obviously been improved, it's had to be, and just my camera presence, because I was so nervous at the start of it, so I think I've settled into it a little bit now. So.
You must be pretty sick of cameras, lenses and lights by now, mustn't you?
Absolutely sick of them, but no, it's all been good, it's all been good.